recommendations stay on file within the system as well. So you don't have to constantly go back and get recommendations from individual professors. Some of them do ask for individual recommendations, but if the professor has written one for you already, it's easier for them. If they get the link that says, please recommend the student, all they have to do is click on that same recommendation that's already there and just apply it to the new scholarship. It's great stuff for you. I mean, we didn't have this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, all the way back. So it's a great opportunity for you on a constant basis to really check on what's available. Good? Got it? Yes? How are we doing? All right, we're working on it. The person who we're trying to link up with in California is one of our members who became what's called a Kaplan Scholar. He got all of his tuition paid for his bachelor's degree the 2 years after he left here. He's done several study abroads to Germany. I don't know, he's an engineering student, that's what he wants to do. And he's now pursuing his master's, also getting his tuition covered by an organization called Kaplan Educational Leadership Foundation. They've changed the rules a little bit. He spoke to them yesterday to tell you exactly what all that is about. So if we can get Kudus on there, I'm going to live stream him, which will be the first time in Hostos history that we have live streamed a scholar from another state. Now, by the way, he's still waking up because it's 3 hours earlier there. So if he looks a little groggy, take that into account. That being said, can you do it? You got it? Okay, can you write that other thing up? Okay, so after today, the thing that we're going to try to do with you, again, using the tinyURL link, is that what happens is my office, as well as the scholarship offices at the college, will get a lot of information. Sometimes that doesn't make it up onto the Hostos site. External scholarships, sometimes they take a very long time to get up there. The deal that I've made as part of this little conference that we're having is to make sure that if you want to be, that I will update you on a regular basis. So the members of the Hostos Student Leadership Academy, any scholarship, right, Akiko? Any scholarship that comes, right, Ashley? Any scholarship that comes into my office, they get an email right away, right after it comes into my office, so that immediately, right before anybody else can actually apply, they can apply as quickly as possible. So if you guys are going to be interested in that, they're going to put that tinyURL address up there. I think it's tinyURL scholarship updates, okay? And we'll have you put your email address on that, because we didn't do it on the sign-up sheet for today. And you will get updates throughout the course of the year directly from me, from my office, and we will use the email that you want us to use, right? So I'm very happy that Hostos has an email system, and I also know the reality, don't tell anybody, Sandy. I also know the reality that you guys don't use the Hostos email system, so I will contact you where you want to be contacted. So whatever email you give us is the email I'm going to contact you at, right, Eric?
Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Eric. How are you?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
As far as the internal scholarship is concerned, when you guys post what the qualifications are for the scholarship, is that it? Is that like set in stone, like these are the qualifications?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
May I answer that?
Yes, Sandy.
The reason that there's the internal scholarships, if we're getting them from the donors, those are the donors' requests.
Okay.
All right, that's exactly what they want. I donate a scholarship in my husband's memory, and I give it to the nursing students because my husband was a nurse. So that's the criteria, that I'm using. So I'm using myself as an example. So if you consider all of the other donors, this is what they want. This is how they see it. So that's why it's written in stone. We as faculty can advise the donors. We can make suggestions, but it's the donors. Like, let's say you have $50 and you want to give your friend $25 as a gift. Well, this is the criteria that I want. Is your $50? Is your $25?
Mr. Guerrero, good morning. The reason I'm asking is that there was the Carlos Beltran scholarship that I qualified for.
Okay.
However, students with less GPAs than mine won instead. And when I followed up with a lady named Virginia, she said that it was due to additional criteria that were not posted on the listing.
Okay, so that's something different, and we have to really check that out, okay? Because I wasn't aware of that. I'm just, like the Carlos Gonzalez and some of the other scholarships that you're going to see, they have definite criteria, but they should not be changing criteria in midstream. So I'll check. And if you're saying it's Virginia, then I think it's Virginia the
Yes.
DASA, right? So I'll check with her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, I had an answer for that question about the financial aid getting student loans. That should not affect your scholarship eligibility in any way, shape, or form, because you're taking responsibility for paying that money back. So it should not have an impact. Where it gets to be an impact is when you're getting Pell and TAP, and then there's going to be a cap at some point of the amount of money additionally that you can get in order not to affect your Pell and TAP. Because those are federally granted funds or locally granted funds, and they're given to you, and the assumption is that you need that money. So if you're getting scholarship money, they're assuming that you don't need that money. So that's where the cap really comes into place. And you won't know that really until you apply for the scholarship and you get a letter that says, your cap is only this much. But it shouldn't affect you up until about $1,500. Generally, most of the students who attend Hostos at least can get about $1,500 in scholarship. That's the internal ones. And the external, it's a whole nother story. We'll talk more about that. I'm still waiting on Kudus to be contacted. So Uneris, you ready? Yeah? Oh, here's the end. Okay. But you ready? We're going to